Look, we are going to take a look at the in-study work rights, but I would say, that's going to be more making sure that they work well and that they are not presenting opportunities for exploitation as well. For us, the real priority was the post-study work rights. They have a much greater impact on New Zealanders, and they have much greater impact on the sort of pathway to residency. So we're really pleased to have that work done. We think having work rights while people are studying is important. So we're going to take a look at that later on this year. But I think people can anticipate that there won't be major changes in that area. Yes, there will definitely be changes to the essential work visa. That, as I signalled during the meeting this evening, we're taking a really first principles approach to all the temporary work visas that are available, including essential skills. And I think people can anticipate quite a lot of change there. Focus mostly on making sure that we get that right, that match between the skills people bring and the skills that we need here in New Zealand, making sure that we are taking every opportunity to eliminate exploitation, and making sure that essential skills visas aren't being used to undermine work standards here in New Zealand in terms of pay and conditions, in terms of people meeting their minimum standards under employment law in New Zealand. So it's a big piece of work, but people can anticipate that we'll have proposals out for consultation hopefully by the end of this year, but I'm giving my officials every opportunity to do all the work that's necessary to get those settings right. So we are looking also at the residency settings more broadly as well. That work has just gotten underway. We think there are opportunities to improve the way the residency system works, again to make sure that the settings are fit for purpose for New Zealand, but also so that there's much clearer pathways for people who want to apply for residency in New Zealand as well. So I guess we are working on just about every aspect of the immigration system. We think there's many opportunities for improvement, but what is important to me is that we take our time to get those settings right, to get those proposals right. But what I am committed to is everything that we do, we will take proposals out for public consultation. We will want to get feedback from businesses, from migrants, from New Zealanders in general, to make sure that they have their say and that we do get those settings correct. I don't want to presuppose what changes might come about. I think it's important that we do that work without prejudicing at the moment by trying to kind of lead it in any particular direction. But as I say, all the proposals that we do come up with will go out for public consultation. I will be very interested in what the Chinese community has to say about the changes that we intend to make. I've asked MB to provide me some advice on options for the future of the parent category. I'm expecting that advice very soon, in the next few days actually. Once I've got that advice, then I will have the opportunity to think about the proposals that I want to take to Cabinet. We'll then go through a Cabinet process. There's decisions that we have to make, and again, with the parent category, I think it is a very balanced decision. So on the one hand, you can see the kind of intangible benefits to families of having their parents in New Zealand. On the other hand, there were concerns about parents who were not being appropriately supported by their sponsor, and that puts the parent in a very vulnerable situation. It also potentially means cost for the New Zealand taxpayer. So we want to make sure that we've got a system that's robust, it's got integrity, that if parents are allowed to come to New Zealand, that we ensure that they are being well taken care of and there's good support systems around them. Not surprised that there's those divergent points of view out there, because that's actually reflective, I think, of the view that most New Zealanders hold. They can see the benefits, but they can also see the risks. And our task as a government is to come up with a policy that accentuates the benefits and mitigates the risks. And that's the challenge that I have in front of me, but I'm up for it. I don't think it's a good or bad thing. I think it just reflects global economic conditions. I think you've got some changes that the previous government made taking effect. So you're seeing a lot of particularly students who have come to the end of their time in New Zealand heading home, whereas previously they would not have head home. I think you've also got the Australian economy picking up, and so Australia is looking like a better prospect than it was maybe a year, 2 years ago, so people are heading there instead. I think what you're likely to see in the future is a continual fall in annual net migration. I think that will be partially due to economic cycles. I think it will also be due to some of the changes that we're intending to make. Although they're not designed to reduce overall net migration, I think that's probably what one of the consequences of those changes will be. I think what we need to make sure we are doing is that we continue to focus our immigration system on the skills that we need. So long as we are acquiring the skills that we need, so long as people are going to the regions where they are needed in New Zealand, where we have capacity for population growth, then that will be a signal to me that the immigration system is working well.